Welcome back to Interior. My name is Alex, and this week I'm joined by Sam Asante.
What up, what up?
Union actor, voiceover artist.
Thank you, man.
I feel like model should be in there.
Stop this, man. Nah.
How you doing, man?
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me, man.
You're actually the first guest on the show.
I'm the first guest?
You're the first one.
Oh, man. That is crazy.
You were the first choice.
Okay, man. Well, I feel honored, man. I feel definitely honored, man. It's a great feeling. You know, I haven't seen you in it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. So
yeah, let's talk about how we met. So back in 2016, 2017.
Wow. That long,
yeah. I thought it was like 2018, 2019.
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
oh, God.
Yeah.
So we made a short film called Street Stained, which was the first time we had met.
Yeah.
And you had applied to audition for, I don't even remember the character's name.
Yeah. I remember applying for another role.
Yeah.
For something.
And then I was just like, I'm going to give you this one.
Yeah,
we did that one together, which was like kind of like a big cast. And at that point you were non-union.
Yes.
And then I'd made like 12 or 13 films in like a year and a half. And then the last one I did was a feature film called Pyrenees.
Yeah. When was that one?
That was 2018.
That was 2018.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, June, July of 2018. So it would have been around this time.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that was the feature film.
Yeah.
And I remember Graham had written that film, and Graham was just like, we got to get Sam to be the person in the bike shop.
Yeah. It was a fun time, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a great experience, man.
That production was so smooth, and then post-production was like a nightmare because of audio.
Oh, shit.
You don't worry about that.
Yeah, okay.
We're good. We're past it now.
It looked great, though.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah. And that was like with no lighting, too.
Yeah.
That was like all natural.
Shit. Yeah.
So anyways, tell me a bit about yourself. You're a union actor, like I mentioned.
Yeah.
But I want to know more about kind of like where you're at currently in your life.
Yeah, sure. Well, I grew up in Toronto, Ontario, in North York. I have two younger brothers. I'm the oldest. One of them is turning 30 right now, and then the other one's like in his 20s. And I grew up, with my mom. She, single mother, raised us three. It was tough growing up, because we didn't have a lot of money. We're poor, definitely really poor, man. So it was a tough time, especially for her. Just, she just tried to do the best she can to raise crazy three boys, I feel like she did a great job just instilling great values, into us, and hard work and work ethic and stuff like that, because everything I do, I feel like I get from her, because she's just always, working so hard in everything she does, right? So, and like being a parent now, I have a 7 year old daughter,
She's so cute, by the way.
Thank you.
I saw the story.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's just, that wanting to just be the best parent you can. I feel like I got that from her, so it's a great feeling being a father, and I feel like I can instill that same work ethic my mom instilled in me, you know, so right, because my love for film started from like when I was a kid. When my dad did live with us, before I was 6 years old when he left. So, and like my dad was like a very strict Christian. We didn't have cable. We watched a lot of biblical stories. So a lot of the movies that we watched were like very old school. I don't know if you know like a bunch of 10 Commandments.
I actually, I went to just Christian schools.
Oh, really?
So
wow. So you know what
it was like 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
It was like VeggieTales and stuff like that.
Yeah, VeggieTales, VeggieTales was fun though. I enjoyed it.
It's still good. It's
still good. So I used to watch like 10 Commandments, Samson and Delilah, Robe.
Yep. All the classics.
Yeah, all the classics. Even like Spartacus, my dad was a big Spartacus of Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
Those were like his films, So I feel like I was drawn to those type of like cinema back in the day, but like I didn't think anything of it, you know, because basketball was my first love. I used to love playing basketball.
Okay.
But I knew that, you know, where that love came from, because I loved watching those type of movies, you know. And like even back in the day, like it was just, for its time, it was great cinema.
I agree.
You know, and I don't feel like they make stuff like that anymore.
No.
You know, like and like also keep in mind those movies were like 3 hours long.
Oh yeah,
4 hours long.
10 Commandments too.
You know, with the two VHSs. You know, like man, it was crazy. But I feel like that's where that love came from. You know, and so I went to school for film. Okay. You know, I went to Windsor University. I took the 4-year program there. And
was it based on film production or was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but like the first 2 years was like more theory.
Yep.
More like, you know, that's how they always do it.
Well, I went to Brock. It was just film theory.
Yeah. So, you know, and then the last 3rd and 4th year, they like made us like, you know,
start in production.
Yeah, start into production, play with the camera and stuff like that. Then again, like I had no idea I wanted to be an actor at that point. You know, I just knew that, okay, you know, we get to make film, you know, because I didn't really have any knowledge about, you know, film and like the process of film and the hard work it takes to actually make a whole production, right? And man, it was crazy. It was, you know, it was shocking, you know, how much work that you need to put it in, you know? And man, I didn't like, you know, standing in the cold, you know, when we did those, you know, cold shoots, man. I was like, oh my God, man, I can't do this. But, you know, I had a lot of respect, you know, for like, you know, people in production and what they did and all the hard work that goes into it, right?
You don't realize it when you're watching a movie. It's always once you start learning about filmmaking that you're like, wow, even the worst films that come out, I still have a level of respect because of how much time is put into making them.
Absolutely, man. Right? And like it made me admire, you know, the whole filming process. Yeah. You know? And like not to take it for granted. It's like, hey, you just watch a movie. You see all the glitz and glamour. But there's a lot of work that goes into it, man. Through the sound, through the edits, the PAs, the coordination, like everything, man. It just takes a lot of work, you know, and I appreciate it.
So when you did the program, did you start off being an actor? Was it more so behind the camera?
So it was all behind the camera stuff. Like I was the boom dude, you know? Okay. And I remember fucking up a lot of projects because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. You know, so I got blamed for a lot of shit, you know? But, and then like I was like the PA and camera assistant, you know? Like, you know, and we all had a chance to like write projects and stuff like, you know, small short stories and stuff, even though none of mine got picked, but you know, it's all good. But
look where you are now.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But you know, what was also a shame of it, there was not a lot of black people in that program too, you know? I feel like I was I think there was like only 2 black people in that program, which was very sad at the time. And I know like the year after that, like there was a lot of black people. So, but yeah, that's, it was fine. But, you know, I felt like, you know, if there was like a lot of people like me in that program, even like props or anything, I felt like I would have been inspired more. But yeah, what was funny when we did a lot of those projects, those small little projects, those shorts, and we would hire one of the 3rd or 4th year acting students, right?
Okay.
I feel like that's where the bugs started to come in a little bit, you know, because we would shoot these students and I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys are having so much fun, you know?
Yeah.
And like, here I am like behind this camera, you know, a lot of like crazy is happening, a lot of stress is happening. And then, you know, we're filming these guys these students, these 3rd or 4th year acting students, and they're just having a freaking blast with the material. You know, it's like, because I feel like this was like the first time they had to act out of all those training that they did, right? So it's like, oh, bro, I'm in a production, and they're just having fun, right? So I was like, oh, okay, that looks fun. But then again, I didn't know what I was like, what I really wanted to do. But like the bug started to, you know,
it got into your brain.
Yeah, it got into my brain a little bit. And then after I graduated, you know, and then I was still kind of lost on what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be in production and film, so I needed experience. You know, I just graduated school. I have no experience, just the stuff I did in school. Right. Who's gonna hire me? No one. So, I did a couple PA jobs for Chorus Entertainment. That's in Toronto. I did a few other PA works for like small different companies and stuff like that. I did an internship at CTS, Crossroad Television Station. That was all the way in Burlington.
Wow.
Monday to Friday for free. They didn't pay for my gas. They didn't pay for shit.
I know the feeling. I did an internship in Toronto at an editing company. Yeah. And I was working like 18, 19 hours a day. No pay, nothing.
Like, that is... I feel like that's like abuse, man.
It's borderline illegal.
Yeah, it's illegal to do that. Like, if they're like paying for your transportation or like
food or something,
you know, like that would be, you know, it'd be justified, you know?
Exactly.
It'd be great, you know? But I wasn't getting nothing, man. And it was really hard on me. But, you know, but I had to get the experience. Or who's going to freaking hire you? You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't even finish the intern because I was just so broke. You know, I was like, the intern was 6 months, and the way things were going, I didn't even think they were gonna hire me, right? Because there was nothing there that really interested me. You know, I was doing a bunch of edits, I was behind the camera, but I wasn't really happy.
Oh, so you did everything?
I did everything, man. I'm telling you, I did everything, man. I told you. So that's why I have appreciation, because I know the work. I know the work. I know what it takes to do what you're doing. You know, it's not easy, man. Unless you love what you're doing, you know.
Well, I'm a firm believer that if you want to be a filmmaker, you have to give everything. You have to do it. You can't. There's no like putting half effort.
Exactly. Or you're gonna half-ass effort. I mean, a product, a half-ass product.
That's true. The more work you put into something, you know, no matter what it is, it'll be successful that way.
Exactly.
So, I get it.
And then as an audience, we're not dumb. We know what's good and what's freaking crappy. We know what looks good. We know what sounds good.
You can see where they cut corners.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. We know a good script when we see one, right? Because the work is there, right? The details are in the pudding, right? So, back to what I was saying. So I didn't even finish that internship. I had to quit because I had no food.
Wow.
You know, like it was tough. So then I ended up getting a regular job. And then my first regular job was working at the Source as a salesman. You know, so I was selling, you know, audio equipments and stuff like that. Just the general equipments from at the Source. Learning to be a salesman. And I was kind of bummed, man, because it's like, man, I should be in film, doing something in film, but I still didn't know what. And then after I saw this opportunity come in where I was able to work at Chorus Entertainment, the place where I was doing, working as a PA, right? But this opportunity is where I could work with kids.
Oh, okay.
For YTV.
I was gonna say, I was gonna bring that up. I was wondering.
Yeah. So it was called like the Wow Patrol.
Okay.
Hands down, one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life. You know, and we traveled all across Canada, you know, promoting YTV activities, games and stuff. And like I was like, we were filmed. You know, I remember we did this one segment with Carlos. I don't know, you know, Carlos, one of the head. So I remember we did this segment with him, and we were filmed. Like all the YTV crew audio was there, and like we were promoting, you know, the activities with the kids and stuff. And once that camera was on me, everything changed. I swear, everything changed. I was like, wow. And mind you, like, you know, we had to promote the thing, and like I kind of had like a little like camera fright. I was like, oh shit, the camera's on me. You know, and you know, I was trying to like, you know, promote this, you know, event that we're doing, and I was having a little bit like stage fright, but like I had an exhilarating feeling though. At the same time, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, the adrenaline.
The adrenaline just kept flowing, man. I was just like, oh shit, man, the camera's on me. I like it. But I'm scared as shit. You know, and I feel. And then we had like a couple other segments after that, like just trying to promote the YTV, you know, games that we had.
Right.
You know, we had upcoming tours for like Halifax, Newfoundland, Newfoundland. Yeah. And like, it was great. Right. So I was like, oh, shoot, maybe I'm onto something here. You know, maybe I want to be in front of the camera. But I had no experience.
Yeah.
But then after that job, because it was only a 6 months contract, right? After that.
By the way, real quick, I did research. I was looking into everything you did.
Really?
And the look on my face when I saw YTV.
Yeah.
I was just like, what?
Yeah. How did you find that?
Oh, I went through so many rabbit holes. I think here's the thing. I think I found your YouTube channel, but I'm also not sure if it's your YouTube channel.
Okay.
Because it had a lot of liked videos that were about acting.
Okay.
It was like Toronto, Ontario.
Okay.
It was your name.
Okay.
But the only thing that like deterred me from it was the uploads were like these music videos.
Yes. I used to do music videos. Yes.
That was your channel.
Yeah, that was my channel. Yeah. Oh,
I watched them actually.
Okay. Really?
I was watching them and I was just like, this can't be him. He's because I knew you as an actor.
Yeah.
So when I saw these music videos, I was like, that was the only thing that deterred me because I was like, I don't know if he did them.
Yeah, bro, I did them.
Wow.
All 3 of those music videos, I did them.
You killed it. Honestly, you killed it.
Yeah, but yo, honestly, because, you know, that was the side hustle, man.
Yeah.
You know, people were paying me to do like music videos.
Music videos are good money.
Yeah, they were good money, you know.
And everybody wants to be an artist.
Man, and you know what? I shot that with my DSLR, my T3i.
I started on a T2i.
You see? Like it was great, man. You know, and like it was funny because I used that OSAP money to buy that shit, you know? And it's like, you know, because I didn't have the money, man.
Yeah,
I didn't have the funds, man. OSAP had to like fund me. You know, I'm like, you know what? OSAP's giving me money. At least whatever I could use with this money, it could be, you know, useful for me and
it's
whatever.
Like an investment.
It's like, it wasn't a personal investment for me, which I'm still paying back. But yeah, so I used to do music videos on the side. You know, and I know they weren't shot great, but like from the knowledge I had from like, you know, in film, you know, I tried the best I could.
Honestly, you did a good job.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You know, it was a long time ago. You know, some people would be very shocked to hear that I used to do music videos, but
I'm so glad I got to confirm that. I was watching it. I was like, it has to be him.
Yeah, yeah, man. But that's crazy.
Would you genuinely speak? I know I'm getting off track for a second, but. Would you ever consider going back behind the camera for something, or doing one of those things where you're the actor, but you're also the director?
Absolutely,
you're also,
absolutely.
Do you think you'd still enjoy being on the other side of the camera?
I would, and I'd be a lot more ready for it. Just being on both sides, right? And you know, knowing what to expect from me and the actor, you know, because sometimes a lot of directors don't know how to direct actors. Right?
I'm guilty of that.
No, it's fine. But you know what you should do? You should always, I feel like every director should at least take one acting class.
You know, it's crazy. Robert Cormier said the exact same thing.
One acting class. Yeah, it's true. At least one.
Yeah.
Because if you have at least one acting class, you know what it is. You know how an actor would feel, you know, from the other side.
Right.
Right? Everything, the process, what it takes, you know, to actually go through, you know, that process of being that character. Mm-hmm. You know, and you know how to communicate with them.
That's
right?
the thing, yeah.
That's it. It's the communication. Because if you're not knowing from the other side, it's really hard to like understand what that actor is going through or how to like direct him.
Yeah.
You know? So, because it's two different languages, right? So I just say one acting class. You don't have to take a whole, you know.
No, now I'm taking a whole thing.
No.
I'm going to do what you did. I did my experience behind the camera, now I'm going to become an actor.
But like, you know, like I feel like it was a good experience because now I know if I were to be behind that, you know, behind the chair, I know what to expect from that actor, you know, and know how to direct and see where he's coming from and just be able to have a quick talk of where I want to take the scene, you know, so they understand your vision. And absolutely.
Both ways.
Absolutely, man.
So speaking of talking to actors, going back to how you became an actor.
Oh shit!
I'm still.
yeah. I'm just. We went all over the place. No, we're good. I love it. I'm learning so much. So you did YTV for, you had said 6 months. Yeah, it was 6 months. The contract was done. They actually got rid of the whole thing. I was very sad because that was my favorite job ever, man. And then after that, I'm like, you know what? The acting bug is coming back to me. It's talking to me. I'm gonna learn how to do this thing, man. So then I had a friend, like I used to play basketball with. His name's Anthony. And, you know, I kept on telling him, you know, my dreams. I'm like, you know what? I feel like I want to be an actor. And then he's like, you know what? I know someone who's a great actor. He's doing great things right now. His name is Emmanuel Kabongo. Shout out to Emmanuel Kabongo. And he told me to have a sit down with him, talk to him. He gave me his contact. And I sat down with Emmanuel, and you know, he was so giving and like and loving. You know, he was just like, he was able to like, you know, just sit down and talk to me. He's like, hey, you know, I heard you want to be an actor. I'm like, yeah, man. I didn't like know anything about him, Emmanuel. I didn't know what he was doing. You know, I just knew that he was an actor, right? I never seen any of his work. But then he told me to take this guy's, this coach, his name is Earl Newhan. So I just trusted him because I had no experience. So then I got in contact with this coach. I did his one coaching session, and I was sold. He like interviewed me. He's like, "Oh, why do you want to be an actor?" I had no answers. I'm like, you know what? I think I want to try this out. You know, I think I like this medium. I think I just want to learn more about it. And then he's like, this is what he said. He's like, he responded like, It was hilarious because that's how like he responds to things. You know, it's like, so I'm like, all right, man. I didn't know what to expect. And then I took his 6-week acting program, and then it ended up being 3 years after that. You know, I ended up studying with him for like 3 years. And he taught me a lot, man. He taught me a lot because he was more of a spiritual coach, you know, because he knew so much about life and acting and like how to like physically, you know, turn yourself into a character, right? So, and he not only about like acting, he taught me about life, you know, what it is to be a human being, things you need to like really watch out for, watch the news. He instilled in me about reading books. I was never a book reader at all. And now I love reading books, you know? And I don't think I would have that, you know, trait in me if it wasn't for Earl. So shout out to Earl about that. You know, I appreciate his knowledge. But then that's where it began, man. I started to just really learn about the craft, and the rest is history, man. You know, I started to learn as much as I can, and I've never stopped learning. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so, honestly, it's so interesting because I would have never guessed in a million years that you'd have done the other side.
Yeah, man, I did, man. And I was, you know, contemplating sticking to that route, but like, you things happen, and this acting bug was just so strong, man. It took over.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it's more fun on the other side of the camera.
It is, man.
You don't have to worry about the lights.
You don't have to worry about but
yeah.
If you could do both sides, like one day I definitely want to do directing and acting in my own movie.
You gonna write it too?
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be great.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, man.
So you've been a part of a bunch of productions at this point. By the way, we never even spoke about your credentials, because your credentials,
thanks,
I was on IMDb. I was like, damn, you were in this? You were in this?
Yeah, man.
So for the people that don't know,
thank you.
You were in Star Trek Discovery.
Thank you.
You're in Handmaid's Tale.
Praise be.
And you were also in American Gods. And I'm trying to think a bunch of other shows. There are a bunch of shows that I haven't even heard of, but I was like, damn, that's a lot of credentials.
I've been lucky.
Yeah.
I've been lucky. So, but I feel like I still have a long way to go, man.
Right.
So much to learn, so much work to do. I'm just trying to better my craft and try to understand the tools that I have and be able to use them. Still a lot of learning to do, for sure. 100%.
Always learning. Having been a part of many different productions, which is what I was going to ask you originally, I'm sure you've had your hand of good directors and bad directors and sketchy productions and non-sketchy stuff. In your opinion, what do you think makes, because as a director, I'm curious, what do you think makes a good director versus a bad director? What makes, what does a director do that makes you feel comfortable on set, makes you feel like you're valued on a production?
That's great, because I've been in like a few productions where like I'm just like the day player, right? Like I'm there for one day, compared to some actors who are like series regulars or recurring, right? And if that director is able to like show love to that actor, for that day player, and be like so understanding and being able to communicate and like make him feel welcome and like make him feel like, hey, like even though you're a day player, like you're still part of this team. I feel like those are like the best directors to work with, because you're able to collaborate and you're able to communicate with that person for that day, and make him feel like, hey, like
you're just as important.
I'm just as important as that series regular.
Right.
And that's such a great feeling to have, because I've been in sets where I was just a day guy and really I feel like no one cared, I was just like that filling guy, like you're gone tomorrow, so like your part probably gonna get cut. So, and I've had that many times, where I felt like, okay, what was the point for me even coming today if I was gonna feel not important, But doesn't matter what role you play. Every actor has an important role to tell.
100%.
The big picture of the story. Right?
100%.
So.
Comparing how you were when you started out versus now, what do you feel like were some important things that you had to learn? It can be just about the industry. It doesn't have to be specifically acting, but what are some things that you learned that you feel like I had to go through that in order to be who I am now? For example, like every time I film a film or make something and I make some mistake, I have to learn from it, and I'm glad that I made that mistake. But sometimes making that mistake is more important than.
Oh no, absolutely. I feel like everything I do, I'm learning.
Yeah.
Everything I've done and I've watched, I'm so critical about myself, man. I just be like, there's so much things I could have done better. Like each time I've done a certain project, I know I could have done better. Obviously, I do see growths from like when I started,
right?
But it's just that, I don't know, that competitive nature in me to be a perfectionist and always try to be better than I was the last project, right? So it's like I'm always constantly trying to get better. but you don't get better if you don't fail. So I'm constantly always failing, constantly always trying to improve and be better than I was my last project. So I feel like I'm getting there, you know, where I'm able to understand and use the tools that that I want to use. But man, I'm still failing, man. I'm still failing, and you know, and I like it because you know I know how much work I need to put in. You know, just constant work, man. Just, and that's what I love about it, because there's always so much you can learn, so much you can take from other people.
Yeah.
The more I work, the more, you know, I could just take a piece from the tree, you know? So,
no,
yeah.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And I can relate to that from a filmmaking standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly why you asked me why I stopped.
Yeah.
It was because I felt like I had to make something better each time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then by the time I did a feature, the feature, like, there was nothing wrong with the feature. It was a lot of fun to make. But the amount of time and the money you put into something, into a production, and then having it fail, it's kind of like a kick to your ego.
Yeah, oh, it is. It is. Especially, especially if it's not received the way that you thought it should have been received. You know, it's like you look into yourself. It's like, oh, like, what else? If this doesn't work, what else could I do, man? Like, I need to do better. You know, so it makes you go back to that drawing board, and you know, makes you look deep into yourself and find out, like, okay, what else do I got to do? You know, but I feel it's a good thing.
Yeah,
you know.
100%. I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, those failures or those things, it lights a fire under me.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
It's like, that's what keeps me going.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay.
And if that doesn't do that, then why are you doing it?
Yeah, 100%.
Why are you doing it? You know, it needs to start a fire under your belly. You know, it needs to get you excited and motivated for the next project, right? So,
right.
You know, to know that you could do better.
That's true.
Right? So,
is that kind of your motivation when you have like a specifically, like, I mean, I don't want to get into too much in personal stuff or whatever, but, you know, talking about, because I'm sure you've had it, I've had it, like having low days or moments where you feel like you're not in your element, or you feel like you're out of place, as it doesn't even have to be an actor, it can be as a director or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you, what motivates you? What pushes you to get past that, to feel like, you know, I need to get to the next thing. I need to, you know, in those moments of wanting to give up.
You know, as an actor, you feel that all the time when you don't get the job. You know, when you're doing 10 auditions in a row and you get none of them, it's very discouraging. You're looking at yourself, what are you doing wrong? Right? So, but you have to love it, man. You have to love it. You have to love not getting 20 auditions and failing in all of them. You know, you have to love it because it gets you excited for the next one. Okay, I didn't get my last 20, but man, I hope I get this one. I hope I get the next one, man. I hope I get the next one. No. You know, oh, I didn't get that. Damn, I'm gonna get the next one though. Right? So it just still, I don't know, man, whatever it is, just, you know, that failure, you know, it keeps you going, man. It keeps you motivated for the next one, you know?
100%. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. As an actor, are there any specific aspects to your roles in projects that you like to focus on? For example, like placing a greater emphasis on your facial expressions or body language, the cadence at which you speak. Like, do you have any philosophies for like when, you know, less is more should be applied in regards to acting?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like actors, we do try to do too much, but like you said, less is definitely more, you know, and I try to use that for my acting. You know, it really depends on the role, but, you know, sometimes I feel like just being who you are is just is enough. You know, you don't have to overdo too much sometimes. You don't have to overemphasize, you know, your words. You don't have to you know, do your facial expressions, you know. I feel like just sometimes I try to just be in my body as much as I can, you know. And I try to work off my partner as much as I can, you know. You know, I work off energy, you know. If you know, whatever you're bringing to me, I try to bring it back to you. You know, this is like a tennis ball, you know. I hit it to you, you hit it to me. And I just go off your vibe, you know. So I usually try to do very less because I feel like that's where I'm more authentic with my character.
100%.
You know, so, and it doesn't come off as forced, you know. But again, I'm still learning, man.
Yeah.
Still learning. This is still a process for me, you know. Trying to get better with different scenes and stuff like that, and see where I could take myself, you know. Yeah.
But I think you're absolutely right, though. I feel like a lot of people get into acting and they're like, oh, I have to give more. I have to do more. Do more. Just, like, you know what I mean? But I think you hit it right on the head in the sense that as long as it's coming from an authentic place or a genuine place.
I remember hearing this podcast, and one of the actors was speaking about Anthony Hopkins and how he does very less in everything he does. Like he becomes very real with his stuff when he just doesn't do much at all. You know, he just has that spirit where he's like, you know, he doesn't have to do anything. And he like totally works off the other person. Right. And it's very amazing to watch. You watch anything that Anthony Hopkins does, you see that nothing is ever forced.
No.
It's like very conversational what he does with the other actor. It's very amazing to watch.
And honestly, even seeing the impact he has on the other actors.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Crazy.
But like he's been doing this for a long time now, so you know he understands the tools. But
right.
I found it very interesting when that actor was saying, oh, like, you watch Anthony Hopkins, like you see whatever he does, it's never forced. And I look back, I'm like, wow, I don't think I've ever seen him do anything that's ever forced. It's just always very natural, you know. So,
and even in like those moments of like heightened emotion, it never feels fake.
It never feels fake, ever.
Yeah,
ever. I want to get to a place like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What roles would interest you in doing them in the future? Like, do you have any specific like characters that you would love to play, or people that like, oh, I wish I had a role like that. You know what I mean? Like, I wish I could do that.
I don't mind playing romantic roles.
Oh yeah?
I don't get them, man. I have a scary face.
I don't think so. Nah, you got a lovable face. You kidding?
Oh man,
I look at you and I see rom-com.
Yeah, I don't know. I never get them. I always get the bad guy, the intimidating, which I don't mind. I love playing. By
the way, you were good in Rev.
Rev. You watched Rev? Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I watched it in the theater room.
Oh shit. Yeah. What'd you think, man?
Oh, you were great.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Really?
I love the
Thanks,
accent.
man.
I love the presence.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool flex. Yeah. It was a very fun character to play.
I saw you were having fun with it though.
I did. You know, what inspired me for that role was what was that movie with Jared Leto and Nicolas Cage? Lord of Lords?
Lord of War.
Lord, yeah.
There you go.
Lord of War, right? Yeah. That movie. And there was an African dictator in that movie. He was fucked up.
I remember that.
Remember that guy? Yeah. And like, I remember watching that movie, and I'm like, okay, this is where the inspiration is gonna come from.
You know, I can see it now. Now that you mention it, I'm like, I can 100% see it.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, it was great. It was a fun time, man. I loved it. But yeah, I love playing I don't know. For some reason, I love playing villain roles. For some reason, I don't know. I gravitate towards it, but I wouldn't mind the romantic type movie. You know,
you've done voice acting before.
Yeah,
I know. Here, I wrote The Division 2.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I was like, I did not know you were in it.
Oh yeah, man.
And I was like,
thanks.
damn. But then also recently, it was the show's called Go Luna. What is it?
Yeah, Let's Go Luna.
Let's Go Luna.
Yeah.
But so you've done voice acting. Do you have any did you have any flexibility when it comes to voice acting? Like, how was that as an experience for you? Was it different than?
Man, that was hard, man.
Yeah,
hard to do because you have to put a lot of energy. You got to use a lot of your voice. Sometimes you lose your voice. Sometimes you got to scream. Sometimes you got to. Man, it was a lot. It was exhausting sometimes, especially with the Division. Because I had a lot of yelling to do, you know? So, but...
Did you enjoy the experience?
Oh, of course I did. Yeah. It was really amazing, you know? Especially when you see, you know, your character and the final product. It's like, oh, okay, that was pretty dope, man. That was pretty dope, man. So, I definitely would love to do more of that.
Okay.
If the opportunity came, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I can only imagine the amount of energy it takes because you have to deliver every line perfectly.
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah,
perfectly. Right?
Are they flexible? Like, I mean, I'm sure it's production to production, but are they like willing to guide you in that sense?
Oh yeah, they do help you. Okay. They help guide you, and you know they make sure that you do the best you can. Right. So doing the Division 2 wasn't easy, but like I had. Great. The director was great, man. He was able to, you know, help me along the way, you know, trying to do the best I can. So, yeah.
How many, because I've only played like the beginning of the Division 2.
Oh, yeah.
I played the original Division.
Yeah.
But now I got to go. Now that you're in it, I got to play it.
Yeah.
But how many days did you do of?
How many days did I do? Could have been like 5 days, man.
Oh, wow.
Or like almost a week. Yeah, it was a lot of work, man.
I was going to say, your voice must have been killing after
Man,
that.
I'm telling you, they had to give me some tea with honey.
Wow.
Yeah, because I'm doing a lot of yelling, man.
Yeah.
That was crazy, man. Yeah.
But it's got to be satisfying.
Yeah.
Did you play the Division 2?
No, I never played it, man.
I was going to say, it must be a weird feeling playing that game.
Yeah,
yourself.
I know. I haven't played it yet, but I plan to. Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about ADR for a second. So I'll tell you a funny story that this, you know, when you have like those moments where you had mentioned it when you were on YTV and you had the cameras on you and that was like, you felt like you're in your element.
Yeah.
Myself, I made a lot of like small dumb videos with friends in high school. And I remember we did like this one, it was called Forest Warfare. It was like an action film.
Oh,
and I was in it.
Oh,
you know, so one of my friends was behind the camera, and I remember we had shot this whole thing, and we were like, "This is the coolest thing." In reality, it looked really bad. Like, don't, you know, it's not even like good. But I remember at the end of it, I take the camera and I look and I see the microphone light isn't on, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, so, "Do we record audio?" And I remember that moment. We didn't record audio at all, so it was just an action film with nothing. But I remember sitting there and I spent a week afterwards learning how to replace audio and how to do like ADR. And this was when I was young, right? And I remember it was that grueling task that like defined me as an editor, because I realized if I have the patience to do this for a week, I'm sure I can do editing. But the reason I bring it up was, do you have any experiences with ADR or like having to go? I'm sure you've done ADR before as an actor, but do you find it a difficult process because of like having to essentially match your performance on the day?
Yeah, it is, because you're going into the day with a different energy. You know, you don't have the exact same energy that you had when you were doing it live, right? So it's trying to match that energy, trying to match the words, you know, of the day. I remember doing Rev. I had to do ADR for that one of the last scenes, right? So it was just like trying to remember like how I felt that day, you know, and try to give out the same performance, right? So it was fun. I'm not, you know, I'm not like, I enjoyed doing it, but then, then again, it's just like, you know, trying to match that energy that you had the day you were on set, right? So
that's fair.
It could be difficult sometimes, right? Because depends on the day you had going into ADR, right? But again, it's just, you know, just trying to match that energy. That's it. But yeah,
that's fair. What's your opinion on ADR? Genuinely speaking, like, do you find that it works? But because every time I hear ADR, I'm just like, you can tell it's not.
You can tell. Yeah. I know, man.
And I know they're trying to do the best that they can.
Yeah,
and I get it.
Sometimes it works, but sometimes, yeah, man. Sometimes it could be bad.
It's rough. Yeah,
it could be awful, right? It's like, why? Like, why did you? But sometimes you have no choice, right? Yeah. It depends on the scene. Like, if there's a lot of background noises, you know, a lot of clanking. I remember I did ADR because there was a lot of plates like freaking getting thrown in the background, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's like, bro. But like, that was the scene, right?
Are you ever on set in one of those moments and you're like, oh, we're gonna have to ADR this? Like, you have a feeling in your head?
I had a feeling because while I was talking, I'm hearing that clink, 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 clink. I'm like, fuck me. I know we're about to come back. But then I knew that like I was gonna get paid again, so I was like, "Oh shit, I'm about to get paid again."
Keep dropping those plates.
Yeah, keep dropping that shit. You know, so
that's fair.
It was like I knew that it was fun, man. It's fun. Yeah.
When you are doing ADR, by the way, I didn't even explain ADR for people that don't know. It's re-recording dialogue.
Yes.
When you after the fact in post-production, because like you said, there could be plates in the background or whatever. Yeah. When you're doing ADR, do you feel like you're doing the same movements in terms of like your hands and
Absolutely.
Like everything? Yeah.
Like I said, you're trying to match the energy of what you're doing, you know, of what you did that day, right? So
it's everything. It's not even just voice. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Like I would just remember like doing that Let's Go Luna.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. Like, you know, like watching it now, like it made so much sense because like the way I was talking, right? Mm-hmm. The way I like delivered those lines, like it showed in the product, right? So it was good to see.
By the way, you killed it in that role.
Thanks, genuinely.
Man. I was watching that. I was like,
thanks,
wow.
Man. You know, I hope my daughter can see that one day. You know?
That'd be so good.
Yeah,
I love that. Do you feel like, I was gonna ask, in terms of direction, like versus doing voice acting versus being on set, do you feel like there's more direction given in terms of like voice techniques, in terms of delivery, and being like subtle or being loud or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. Because they let you know, like, you know, they give you the directions, like, okay, you got to say it differently now. You got to say it like, you know, someone just threw pie at your eye or something like that. I don't know. It's like the cadence that like they give you, like you know, the way you have to say it, right? Because there's all these different actions that are happening during the game, right? So it's like, you know, they help you out about it, right? So it's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work.
I can only imagine. Are they hard on you in terms of like delivering like specific words or specific syllables?
Sometimes they are, man. Sometimes they are. Wow. They're very specific, right? Because it goes with the storyline,
right?
Like, right? It's not like something like you could really play around with, man. Like it needs to follow a blueprint, and it's just coming all the way from like the head of the creators and stuff like that. So it's like they want you to deliver something. It's like they already had a thought in mind of how it's supposed to play out. Compared to like film, right? So it's like film, you could really kind of
play around.
You could play around with it, you know. Not always, you know. Sometimes the writer won't let you, right? But like when it comes to video game, it's really like on the book, you know. So yeah.
And going off of Let's Go Luna, when you're recording your lines and stuff, you're not there with the other people that are playing there.
No, but you're not.
Yeah,
you're not. So then again, it's having that imagination is like, that's the work. That's why I say it's a lot of work.
So you have to, it's essentially you're bringing your own energy.
Yeah,
you can't really play off of.
You can't play off anyone, right? And like I had to act like someone was talking to me, right? So, which was difficult to do. But again, as an actor, you got to learn how to do it, right?
Honestly, it came off genuine. I couldn't even tell. So
I appreciate that.
So okay,
all right.
I appreciate you.
Thanks, man. I was kind of a little nervous, man, but yeah,
no, I'm nervous. Yeah. I'm sitting here with my piece of paper of questions. I'm like, what am I asking? What is this?
It's all good.
No, I love that. I love learning all about. I'm so glad I got to figure out the YouTube channel because that was bothering me for like a week. I was sitting. I was like, should I ask? What if it's not?
I'm surprised that shit is still up there. I forgot that it's still up there.
I was looking everywhere. Yeah, because I don't know. I like to do my own research, but it's also interesting seeing. It's different doing research on someone and then seeing the credits, but hearing the story of how everything flows and where you were and how you are now. Honestly, it's inspirational. I love hearing that. So I appreciate you sharing your story.
Nice, man. Thank you for having me as your first guest, which is crazy. But
I hope this episode becomes kind of like a time capsule that we can rewatch together like 10 years from now.
Shit. I don't know if I want to watch this, but okay.
No, I'm sure you'll win an Oscar one day and I'm going to pull up the highlight.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Okay.
Yeah.